So today's topic is that how can we invest in a falling stock that is in downtrend. So the content that we will discuss today is that what is a trend and what is an uptrend, what is sideways trend, what is downtrend. We will see some case studies and then we will see some questions if you have any and discuss on some charts. So as you see in the chart below, this is a trend. So basically first you see in an uptrend continuously we have higher highs and higher lows, and then this keeps on going to the top. At this moment, after one trend is established, we see there is a temporary pause in which we neither get a higher high and neither get a lower low. So this is like a range that gets developed, and this is known as sideways trend. If you connect a trend line from these two lows, you will see that the price breaks the trend line, but it doesn't mean that price is now in a downtrend. It means price is neither in an uptrend nor in a downtrend, and that is known what is known as a sideways trend or in a range. So it is actually not advisable to invest or trade in a stock that is in a range, because you never know when that range will be broken either on the upside or downside. Also, you don't know how long will it take to finally in this range. So it is always advisable to either wait. Now after this you see you see a series of lower highs and lower lows. So this means now the price is in a downtrend. So we now today's topic is that if you see something like this, so when you know that now we have to invest, because many times people are stuck in these kind of stocks and they want to average their holdings, or they continuously ask when to average these stocks. So now we will try to discuss this in today's webinar. So let us see. So this is the daily chart of Titan. As you see, now we discuss a series of uptrend, higher highs. So similarly, you can see on this daily chart, you are getting higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So this is a case of uptrend. It's the best time to invest when the stock is in uptrend. So this is the best time to invest when it is on a uptrend. Now suppose after this you get a, like we discussed, sideways trend. If you draw a trend line from this to these points, you will see there is a trend line breakout, but this does not mean that now the stock is in a downtrend. It means now stock is in a sideways trend and ranging market. So you see this, and like I said that this kept on going for some time, because and you never know when this range breakout will happen and whether it will happen on the upside and downside. It will form a range. You can see this is a resistance, this is a support. So now the next move will depend on which side it give breakout. And in the bottom, this is our last picture that we saw. This is a higher lows uptrend, this is sideways, and this is downtrend. So you can similarly check the similar chart pattern happening on the charts. So whatever we are teaching, that is actually the real time examples, how that simple examples, on the chart you will see the similar, we try to correlate them. So if you see a diagram like this uptrend, you can see similar on the charts what is an uptrend, and then you can see sideways, it is highlighted like this, and now either downtrend or uptrend will begin. So let us see what happens. So you see in this case, this in the chart of Titan, you got an breakout on the upside. So it means that now after the uptrend, there was a temporary pause, and then again it went to resume the trend. So in terms of Elliott waves, with what we teach is that when this is the first impulse, the uptrend, then you got correction, and correction is minimum 3 waves, and after that you got the next impulse. So now people usually don't know whether breakout will happen on upside or downside. But for Elliott, they know that for every impulse, if there is a correction, we will get the next impulse that is upside. So let us see further. So before moving further, all you know that we have a Telegram channel, Stock Market for Beginners, and all of you are members of that. And we also have a YouTube with the name of Sunny there. And if you are enjoying the content, please like our channel, and it really helps our channel. So, and apart from that, if you're new to our channel, then you can see there are already some playlist of Elliot. This is a series for beginners, that is purely for beginners, and this is one on demand and supply, and yeah, on swing trading we have one more. So till now, anyone have any questions for this? We will take the examples now after this. Any question in whatever is taught till now? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and no
Yeah,
specific question.
yeah, yes. So we recommended Zomato. If you remember, if you can see, we posted in our Telegram group also at 55. So let us see what exactly we saw in that chart, because it was continuously in a downtrend, and let us see what really changed in the chart. So I mean, at 55, you see in our group, I had posted that now you can invest in Zomato. So this is actually, let me go to the 4-hour chart of this. So now, as you see, what is the definition of uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. So if you see in this chart, you start getting the higher high and higher lows. So basically, this was our first impulse. Now, if you go to a lower chart like hourly chart, let me first give a weekly review of this. Now, if you see my earlier answers on Zomato, I had said I had given a sell call on Zomato when this happened. You see,
एक भी लड़को नहीं मार्केट में इसकी बहन का बवाल मारूं
this was the weekly candle that closed between the I mean, it broke the swing low, and after that I had given sell call. At this only I had said that Zomato can go to 60, minimum 62 was a target, and it went as below as 40 levels. So after that, now if you go to daily chart, at the bottom point you can see when a divergence starts to develop at the chart. You can see this, all of you are aware of about the divergence.
Not really. Maybe if you
So
can give a short explanation.
I would first recommend you to go. I mean, we have 4 series already, and divergence is actually the major topic that we have already covered in almost all series. I will also give it now, but I will suggest that if I mean, this is one of the most important factors that we consider. And if you have to, I mean, our Elliot teaching also majorly, you consider, I mean, it becomes helpful for us that what is the momentum and how long will the trend will continue. So as you see, this was a downtrend from this point to this point, and how we can determine that this is actually the, I mean, temporary bottom. It's not the permanent bottom, but temporary it is a bottom, because as you see the price is coming down and down, the momentum, there is a shift in momentum. At this point, you see, if you compare the MACD on the downside, it was at this point, but at this swing low, if you again compare the MACD, you see the momentum at this point is more, and at this point is less than this, but price is lower than this. So there is actually divergence between price and indicator. It means that there can be a temporary pause in the downtrend, and we may resume some upward rally. So now in terms of Elliott, we know that if we get an impulse to the down, so we are thinking that this is a correction. So correction is minimum 3 waves. So the correction in this case will be upside. So let so if this is the downtrend in Zomato, let me go to the weekly chart first. So if this whole is a downtrend in Zomato, So whatever is happening now, maybe right now we don't know it is an impulse, so we can say that this is a corrective move to the upside. So now at this moment, when a divergence starts in the chart, so now we kind of I mean hope that now we are getting a corrective structure to this impulsive down move. It doesn't mean that from this Zomato will keep on going up, but since this is a weekly chart, it means now let us see how much time it took for the impulse. So if you I mean, from 8th November, it is falling 8 November 2021, and what time it was 18 July 22. So almost 10 months. So it means now next 10 months there may not be a new low, or I mean for next few 4 5 months it will try to go upward correctively. Like this was an impulse, it took some time. Now the next wave will be upside, and for next 4 5 6 7 8 months it will give upside movement. At this moment, this was our analysis. So now for this we have to first see some signs. Now at the bottom you see the first sign which we got is the divergence. So now whenever we see divergence in the chart, it means temporary reversal or pause. Now after that, now if you know, there is one more video, and you have to how to draw trend lines, because you cannot connect every point. uh, if I mean after this, those who have not seen that video, so you should I mean watch that, because you cannot connect every point to a trend line. Like now normally people connect every point, but that does not make sense. So you have to, there are some rules that we have already discussed, and I will share, I mean that is already covered in a webinar, so you should go to that video. But let me first I mean focus on this part. So there was a trend line. So after the divergence, there was a trend line. It also cleared this part. So it gave us basically the first higher high on a 4-hour chart or daily chart. So this was our first I mean point where it I mean kind of we gave on this part, that this temporary downtrend is over and now you can invest. So that is actually already also shared my I mean covered in the group also. You can check the earlier messages, that on 55 I had suggested that there can be temporary up move in this. Now after this we know that correction is minimum 3 waves, right? So now suppose this is the first impulse, so either you can buy in this part, or after this correction that happens. So this was the correction. After this you see you are again getting one more move up. So in if you are part of the previous webinar, there was it in that we had covered that for every impulse, if there is a correction, there will be next up move. So again you can see there is one more correction and there is one more up move. So when can we not trade this? So let us see that whether this is over or not. Let me clear this first. So always kind of trail that with a trend line. So if you draw a trend line between this to this, you know that this actually broke. Recently I had given sell on this at this point. Let me show you that also. So basically there was a trend line breakout. So we know that whenever there is a trend line breakout, what does it signify? It signifies that uptrend is over and sideways is there. Like, so this is a sideways market. So now whenever this uptrend got resumed, that let me, so basically the three wave got over in this part. Let me mark those three wave also in this. So we know that for every impulse, we have to get a one more impulse down. But in this case, the impulse was very short. So this is a specific case of contracting flats. In terms of Elliot, we have covered some flat examples. So in there is a case of regular flat, there is a case of expandable flat, and one more case is in which the impulse does not break the prior impulse and it kind of contracts in between that. So if you see, this is between these two I mean this impulse is between this impulse. So this is a very tricky example of example, because you cannot really trade this. So when we know that this is over, when when price again starts to go above this point. So basically these are all other parts of, but when to invest in this stock is like at the bottom. When you start, first step is identify the divergences on the chart. Second is wait for any higher high on a lower chart like 4 hourly. If you get a higher high on that, you can enter and start. How now, once you are, suppose you entered at this, how can you, I mean, protect your profit if you're in profit? So for that also we know a trick, that you have to always, like in the definition of uptrend, you I mean, lower high, I mean, you have to track the higher high and higher lows. So definition of uptrend is previous low should not be breached. So at this moment, this is the previous low. So now when this high is again made, the previous low shifted to this point. So anytime if you see like this, it means this is the stop loss for this trade. Any question till now?
No questions.
Okay, so any stock from audience that they want me to, how, I mean, if that is in a downtrend, and how can we look, any example of that you want me to take?
I don't know if the right one or no. Wakaranji is something I'm tracking for a while.
And
Emphasis, no, not emphasis, mastic.
Mastic, which time frame you are looking investment in Vakrangi? Now, from whatever we, I mean, we have seen. So first, my first question: if trend line is broken on a monthly chart, so is the uptrend broken in this? So when I said whenever an uptrend is broken, I mean, major movement will not happen once an uptrend. You see from this point, 0 to almost 500, it was very fast. Now even in downtrend or sideways trend, price goes up, but this moment will be very it's very confusing moment, and moment you start to invest, it will reverse. So ideally you should look on the stocks that are on the still on uptrend. And if you are invested in this, are you currently invested in this?
Yes.
So
Not so much, but yeah, certain extent.
yeah, so let us try to cover from Elliot. Let us see if this is now in a correction, right? So this is the first impulse to down. After that, you see you got a follow-up impulse to down. So this impulse was over, and if you connect a trend line from this point to this point, you see there is a trend line breakout. Now if you see, this is one impulse, so this can be a corrective move for this down wave, and that means from after this moment you can get one more up move that will cross this 70. So is this explanation understood, or
Yeah.
so let me again say what I'm saying. See, this is the first move down, and after that we got a small, you can see, correction in this, and one more move down. So now if you draw a trend line, like case of Zomato, there would be some up move after this. Now if you go to weekly, like this is the first impulse, and after that it is slowly going down. So that means you can get one more move up, and that can cross this top also. But overall, if you see, this can, after going up, it can come again come down to break this also. So basically this is in a correction. You never ideally that will, I mean, if you are in profit, you can book. Best time to invest will be once you see in the chart of Titan, we got one range, and after that breakout was the best time to invest. So if you see, after at this point, even if it comes to this point, it can again come like this. So best time will be once we get a breakout on this part. So is this clear?
Okay. Yes, very well explained. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but that you can check on the lower time frames also. Like now see, at this point on a weekly chart, there was a range. So if you want to average out quickly and for some time, you can see after this impulse, you got a correction, and you can trade this one because there was a range formation and breakout. So second stock, what was that?
Mistake.
Mastec. So this stock has not broken its long-term trend line. So it's still in uptrend as per long-term. Let us see on a weekly scale. So weekly, if you know how to draw trend lines, all this becomes very easy to track. Now, if you draw this trend line on a weekly, so as per weekly, now we can also connect last two impulses we have to connect. So this part to this part, if you connect, so at this point, it tells that on a weekly, the trend is not up, but long term, it is up. But if you see, this is a very fast move. So what probably can be the next move? We can get a correction to the upside, but correction is slow. So it will take time like this. And then it can give us a down move more. After this, there can be one more. Since this is a very strong move on the monthly chart, it will again go upside. Always check the momentum. If you see momentum at this is very strong. So after this correction is over, we can expect one more move up. But this is a monthly chart, which means it can take even 1-2 years in this range only. Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
I mean, what I'm trying to say, that correction on a monthly chart can last for 2 years also. Let me give an example of IEX. See, if you are part of this training, earlier webinars, we had suggested sell on IEX at 190 levels also. There is a video on that also, and you can see current price is 138. So simple was that, see, it is a very fast move uptrend, and once it is broken, this part will be very long. I mean, 2 years, 3 years, it can do like this only. And why was this move very fast? Because you can see this was coming after, I mean, this was a very range breakout, and this is the best time to enter, but not this part. Same example on Tata Power we had given. Let me quickly cover that. So Tata Power actually was given at 62, and it immediately went to 300. Reason was simple. range breakout on higher charts. You can see it was a range. Once this range is broken, it quickly goes above. But now after this part, this trend line breaks on the higher chart, it usually takes some time for this correction, and it depends on this impulsive move. It will take 1 year, 2 year for this, and the next move will be, because there is no divergence, right? There is no divergence, so there is always one chance of this to go and break again this 290 levels. But this will happen once this correction is over. So is this clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. So any other stock? Now let us take example of one, quality stocks like ITC gave up moment this year, right? And if you are part of our group, we 1 year back I had suggested to our members that this stock can be the stock of 2000, this year 2022, and this was just suggested when this was happening. Let me go to the yearly chart. So this is a quarterly chart. Only at looking at this part, because see the volume at this candle was very high. This is a quarterly chart, 3 months for single candle, and this was happening. See, like in this case also, the correction in this case was like this. This is a pattern that we have already covered. This is an expandable flat in which you can see after this part. Let me quickly draw the so you can see there was a trend line breakout, right? And after this trend line breakout, you can see stock underperformed for some time. This underperformance is nothing but a corrective pattern, and once this correction got over, you can see again this stock going up. So you have to understand first, is the stock in uptrend or sideways? If it's in a sideways, do not touch it. Touch it only when you see now there is a trend line breakout again. That means it is most probably going for the next wave. But if it is in a range on a monthly chart or weekly chart, do not enter it, because it is very time consuming and it is very risky, because whenever you enter it might reverse. So always check whether let me give an example of SBI. I had given buy on SBI. Levels are very important, above 365. The reason is simple. See, this point was a multi-year resistance level in this case, and once this breakout happened, so every time most of the stock gets doubled, and you can see the stock has already in doubling from that level, because it is a multi, and we have seen in case of Titan also. It was the same chart, uptrend, sideways, and again resume the trend. See, all the charts, if you see, they are somewhat similar. And this is so basically you have to remember what sort of structure you have to trade, and what sort of structure you have to get in. You cannot enter in this part, because if enter at this point, the maximum upside is up to this level. But if you enter at this part, so there is no resistance on the left side, and there is no limitation. The stock will perform like this. So similarly, let us take ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank also had given a multi-year breakout, and see, banking stocks, most of the banking stocks are similar. Once they give breakout, you can see they just keep on rallying. So you have to identify the structure that are in an uptrend